Welcome into a post-game live edition of Bleav in Panthers here on Bleav Podcast Networks, brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Desmond Johnson in the house from Tobacco Road Sports Radio. The Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart, in the house. Apologies for a little bit of the late delay. We had to get situated and set up. And the Carolina Panthers, apologies from them as well for their late appearance here in the game. 27-10, losers to the Seattle Seahawks at home, the final regular season home game of the year. Have no fear, however, Tampa Bay lost to Miami as well, which sets up a showdown next Sunday for the NFC South crown. Carolina at Tampa Bay. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show, and we'll get more deeper into it in our midweek episode that'll preview that game. But as we start off every Sunday post-game, our guy Stu gives us what he saw. You were actually at Bank of America Stadium. It sounded just as loud, if not louder, than last week at the beginning of the game. I mean, especially on defense, the crowd was really into it. Going back to what we were saying about how Charlotte loves a winner, Charlotte loves the Panthers when there's something to root for. And today they didn't really give them a whole lot to root for. What was some of the things that stood out to you that was just kind of like, yo, what is going on right now? Because that was not what I was expecting for a team that could not afford to overlook a 12-win Seattle team coming into the bank. Take your time, bro. Take your time. Say it with your chest. Take time. Take your time.
Now look, okay. I know we all disappointed. We had high hopes. And rightfully so. We should have won that game. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but we didn't. For those that were watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do their job, which was lose that daggone game, I knew they was gonna lose, Desmond.
I had a feeling. Yeah, I
felt it in my bones. I felt
like they lost like 7 of the last 8 games or something.
I mean, I just knew that it was going to happen. I knew that they was going to shoot themselves in the foot. But I just had hope that we wouldn't shoot ourselves in the foot. And that's exactly what happened today. Okay? We shot ourselves in the foot. You got the stats up on your end? I can pull it up on my end. Because this is a game where, I think offensively, we have not seen this type of production out of our offense in quite some time. Where in the first quarter, at one point in the game, we averaged 1.8 yards per play, Desmond. 1.8. That ain't going to get it done.
Per play. Running and passing.
Right?
Yeah.
And, I get it. Seattle's defense, they looked real good. And they're every bit of what their stat lines say they are, right? The top
second ranked scoring defense in the league. They was allowing only 18 points a game, and we were joking midweek like, why is Seattle so good? Kind of saw it today. Kind of saw it a little bit today. So.
Seattle's defense is what holds them in those games, and eventually, the field position game strikes up, right? We shot ourselves in the foot with some turnovers. We shot ourselves in the foot with allowing them to convert on some 3rd and long situations. I look at the 3rd and long earlier in the game where we had gotten them pressured with Sam Darnold kind of treading backwards, and then he does a intentional grounding, right? 3rd and long. And then we give up an explosive run play. And they didn't convert on that play, but it opened my eyes to like, hey, we had them right where we wanted them. Step on their neck, choke them out, have that X factor mentality as a whole, right? I feel like our defense played really good ball today. The last several weeks, they've given us a chance to win on offense and to, flip the field, right? You look at Derek Brown and company, that defensive line, they were probably pissed off because Derek Brown absolutely should be a Pro Bowler.
Bro,
I'm not sure how that slipped the cracks. But you want to know what? They showed out today, and they made a case of why they are well on their way of being an elite defensive front. A couple more pieces added to that defense. You got Nick Scorton today. Nick Scorton with the sack fumble. That was huge.
Yep.
That was huge. Huge plays every week by him. and he's just going to continue to get better, especially as he stays healthy. I look at the grit, the heart of that defense. Claudin Sherlis, he's a guy that's was out there battling through pain. He had a little ankle injury that kind of set him back, and he eventually had to sit out for the rest of the game. But you have guys on that defense that want to win, and yeah, it wasn't perfect by any means. There was a lot of opportunities to pick Sam Darnold off today. A lot of tip passes, dog. I felt like I had the song Tip Drill going on in my head because they was out there tipping the ball every single time Sam Darnold was back there ready to throw a pass.
Was it me? It just seemed like Sam was kind of rattled first quarter.
He was rattled a little bit.
He was running around for his life. Like, I was like, hey, okay, we got Sam, the whole seeing
ghost thing. Derek Brown probably over there breathing down his neck. He's rattled too.
I think that's what it was, because Derek Brown was in this dude's pocket like all day. And it was like he kind of settled down. Their run game kind of helped them settle down a little bit early. Yeah.
Remember what we talked about this earlier last week when we had Lofa Tatupu on?
Mm-hmm.
And one of my keys to victory was you have to be able to stay composed and you have to be able to stop their run game, because they're going to choose to run the ball. They're going to dial the run. They haven't been as successful as they have been in the past, as we know the Seahawks to be. They run the ball. They want to run the ball. They want to be physical. But new regime, right? New coaching, new coach in the building. And he's implementing the same things that they were once really good at. Play defense, run the ball, strike when it's hot.
Yeah.
Right? When I say strike when it's hot, when you're in red zone, you got to take advantage. And they took advantage once they got in the end zone with the turnovers that we gave them, a good field position. They were maximizing their time on the field. We didn't do anything on offense until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
As far as moving the ball, finding some type of tempo, some rhythm. I felt like once we got a little bit of energy going and a little tempo going in that late third quarter, we were able to pick them apart a little bit. They were a little disoriented. I feel like the way we were playing was a little slow to the line, a little bit of energy lost here. I mean, before the game, I don't know if you saw this, but T-Mac was on the injury list because he was sick. So, yeah. I mean, you got guys that are probably dealing with a little sickness, you got family in town for the holidays and all these types of things, the bug going around. And you can just tell there's a little bit of lethargic feeling out there on the offensive side of the ball.
Today was the day I kind of realized, and I went online a little. I didn't answer anything or respond to much to anything because I've told you before how I feel about people getting on and critiquing mid-game, like while something's going on. But today was the day I kind of realized with this particular Panthers unit, they're going to go the way the offense goes. If the offense goes and they're aggressive at the beginning of the game, the Panthers more often than not are going to come out on top. It's when the Panther offense kind of gets punched in the face the first couple of drives, and they can't really get something going, and they start to get timid. And that really goes back to Bryce, because it's one of those games either where he's going to challenge the back of your defense or he's going to check down.
I don't think it's Bryce. I don't think it's Bryce.
Today, I thought it was the receivers. I thought Seattle's secondary did an excellent job covering, and they couldn't get any separation. And
that's what it was.
Check down. Yeah, so
that's what it was. The Seattle Seahawks played. They were too high majority of the game. And when you're too high, you better not go deep. You can do it all you want to. You're going to get picked off, right?
Yeah.
But I think they did a great job, especially that one where Bryce threw the interception. I don't think they disguised a little bit where he threw that pick to T-Mac. And because T-Mac, he was thinking that T-Mac was going to be right there in that slot and that the corner was going to sit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually backed off, right? He backed off and was basically sniffing it out.
Yep.
That was the one throw that I thought to myself, right? You got us on that one. And then the rest of the game, you had to throw checkdowns because the plays that you were calling didn't allow for anything else.
Yeah, we couldn't get the run game going. Nothing downfield. T-Mac,
we got to figure out how to get more creative when it comes to the route combinations that we do run. If wanting to move the ball around, because that again, late third quarter, we ran like a little Coker ran like a 7-yard comeback route, and it was, kind of across the middle of the field. Like, you have to figure out how can we poke holes and attack this zone coverage, because if you're not going to figure out how to move the ball against what we just saw against the Seattle Seahawks, what do? It's a copycat league. It's going to be copy and paste going next week. You've already played the Buccaneers once. They're already basically game planning since they lost against you, because we know it's going to come down to that one game. And unfortunately, it could have ended it today. Right?
Could have been done at 4:15 this afternoon.
4:15. I could have been like, I would have took this podcast from a bar somewhere on my phone. Okay.
Live from Uptown Charlotte, Jonathan Stewart.
I can't hear you because everybody here is turnt, right? But this is what
fit the mold. It fit what the Panthers have been doing since September, and they said it on the podcast. We haven't won back-to-back games since like September 9th or 16th or something. It was when we beat the Cowboys and the Jets. Y'all realize how long ago that was? Like, it was still summertime. It was still hot when we did it last.
What we've been doing right now is we've been going to the music archives. 1994, Aaliyah, Back and Forth. That's when that song came out.
That's what we are.
Rest in peace, Aaliyah. But daggone, man, look, we back and forth, back, forth and forth.
Yeah.
At least you can stack it forth and forth, like go forward twice.
See, to me, that's the next step. That's next year. Next year, we take the experiences from this year, we learn from them, and we win back-to-back games. We win in these scenarios. Because again, like you said, and some people in the comments are saying it also, thanks to everybody that's coming in on the live version here, but Seattle was there to be had, like going into halftime. Like they were right there. And then honestly, in the second half, the interception that Bryce threw, and Chuba's fumble, because of where they were on the field. We were so deep in our own territory. Seattle turned those into points, and then that kind of gave them a cushion. And once that happened, we never really abandoned the run. We just couldn't do the run.
Couldn't do anything in the run. I think we could have challenged mid zone, outside zone a little bit more, because what they did, which was brilliant on their behalf, they saw that they couldn't run up the middle against us, against our front four. They was lit today. They played lights out. Hey, Derek Brown and company, Nick Scorton and y'all.
Derek Brown felt like he was in the middle of every pile.
Keep doing what you're doing, okay? You guys are going to be here for a long time. You keep doing that.
Yes, sir.
I think the secondary, the linebacker crew, they played exceptional. Or they played to their strengths, right? Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, played out of his mind.
Yeah.
Football IQ today was out the roof. Okay. He was making every single play. He had 7 tackles at one point in like the first 18 minutes of the game.
He finished the leading tackler for the Panthers with 11 total, 8 solo. But kind of that's the problem. When your cornerback is the leading tackler, then that means that some stuff happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Like
this is what it was. They were attacking the edges because the defensive line was stuffing the front. They were stuffing that middle. They couldn't run up the middle. So eventually they had to mess around and figure out how to get on the outside. And when they was getting on the outside, they were starting to eat up a little bit. And then I think you have Trevin, you have Merrick, you have J.C. Horn, you have Michael Jackson, you have your secondary being a part of the run game, so physical, coming downhill. That's the reason why he was getting them tackles, because he was being active.
And we had 2 dropped interceptions early in the game, really like second pass Sam Darnold had ricocheted off somebody, and J.C. Horn almost had basically a pick six. It hadn't got ricocheted off, and then speaking of the devil, Derek Brown almost got an interception off the same ricochet.
Right off of and Claude Sherless with a huge play there. Again, he was playing through injury, man. You can see he was battling every time he was like making a tackle. He had to get up slow, but he came up there and laid the wham. Okay, and that ball popped up, and I thought Derek Brown had him an interception.
I was like, "Oh, the big man flying through the air, big man flying." I'm trying to look through the positives here, because this is one of those games for me where I've told you sometimes there's Sundays when I'm watching the Panthers and I just cannot get attached to what they're doing. Like like I just can't get into the game. Today was like that, where I'm watching it and I'm like, feels like we're just 3 and out type, sputtering along. Seattle scored 14 points to our 0 in the third quarter, and that's really the difference in this game. They pulled out just enough. I will say I did not like us going into victory formation at our own 20 with like 1:20 to go with no timeouts, knowing that Seattle, I guess they were going to down it if you give it back to us or whatever. it just felt weird that we were kind of waving the white flag with time on the clock instead of just trying to get downfield or do something, anything.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before. So I'm not sure what to do with that. Seattle, people were saying, well, Seattle didn't have a whole lot to play for today, blah, blah. I mean, yes, they do. They're trying to get the 1 seed in the NFC. And we've seen the NFC, like, we've beaten the 2 and 3 seeds in the NFC. Like, anything can happen. And I still left that game thinking, if we see Seattle again, I don't know if this outcome's the same. Like,
it's not the same.
Yeah.
I think our defense, this is what, hey, look, everybody that's coming here joining live, appreciate y'all joining live.
Yeah.
Here's the hopium, okay? I Bleav in Derek Brown. I Bleav in that defense. Mike Jack came with that revenge.
Do you Bleav?
He came with that revenge today, and it showed up. And, right? He said, hey, look, y'all traded me for a bag of chips, and that's it.
Yeah, he played like that too. Like he was angry.
you traded me, a guy, for a bag of chips, right? And now I'm playing for the Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to show the Carolina Panthers that I appreciate y'all. And he went out there and played exactly like that. I Bleav in that.
Lofa told us. Lofa told us on Wednesday. He was like, they call him the King of Pop in Seattle. Yeah. They love him.
The King of Pop he's been here, but today he wanted to make a case that, hey, look, on CBS, I am Michael Jackson. And I'm not talking about the singer because rest in peace, Michael Jackson. I am the football version of Michael Jackson. The King of Pop.
Having him on.
I'm King of
Morgan, man.
I'm the king of popping guys in the mouth.
Snapping pop you in the mouth. Now, I see the people trying to pile on Bryce Young online. We've already addressed that. 14 for 24 for 54 yards, 2.3 yards per pass, had an interception, no touchdowns thrown, had a 45.8 rating for the game. But again, it wasn't so much Bryce being scared to go down the field. Guys, sometimes you have games where there's nowhere to go. And instead of making mistakes, and back 2 years ago, Bryce would have forced stuff downfield and had left this game with 2 interceptions and probably a pick 6 or something. Today, he took the checkdowns. He took the things lower that we were like, oh, stop doing checkdowns. But sometimes you got to do it. And sometimes those checkdowns turn to 8-9 yard gains. So, like, you have to kind of see what it is. I know 54 yards ain't going to win a whole lot of games. But, again, you're not going to beat a team contending for the 1 seed in the NFC next to last week of the season. It's won, how many games? 12 games? They came here 12 and 3. Yeah. You're not going to beat that team if you turn the ball over twice deep in your own territory in a tight game where those 2 turnovers turn into scores. And then when we get our 2 turnovers, we did nothing with them. Like that to me is the tell of the whole game. We got 2 turnovers too, and we just couldn't do anything with them. Seattle's defense won this game today. Like, and that's why they're in contention for the NFC 1 seed. Now they still haven't clinched. If I'm not mistaken, they have to win out. I think they play San Francisco next week. So, because San Francisco has a shot at a 1 seed too, if they can beat Seattle. So, I mean, they had something to play for. I did hear on the broadcast that Bank of America Stadium, they were showing all the scores of everything going on at the same time, except for that Miami-Tampa Bay game. They weren't showing the scores.
Yeah, they weren't. So, they did that purposefully. So that way the guys that are on the field, they're not peeking up, at the during a timeout or while they're on the sideline and looking at the score, because then you get laxed, right? And then you kind of get like, oh, well, they're winning or they're losing. Now you all of a sudden mentally you start playing different, right? You start thinking too much, right? Yeah. And so kudos to the coaching staff for having the awareness and being able to make that call. Because at the end of the day, you're on that field, you need to just focus on what you're doing in the task at hand, which is, beating the man in front of you. And I think that's what we did that really well on defense. I think on offense, we could not figure out how to win our one-on-ones.
We gave them 14 points. Didn't they both score touchdowns on both those turnovers?
Yeah, the turnovers were, all scores were off of turnovers. And then I think the penalty there at the end with J.C. Horn, obviously that sealed the game.
Oh
right?
Gosh, yeah.
And that's I'm pretty sure no one needs to even talk about it, to be honest.
That play probably happens. He doesn't need every game.
He doesn't need to hear about what he should be doing, what he could have done. That's just one of those plays, man, where it just doesn't. Perfect. No one's perfect, and it's a routine play. Where the guy will just go out of bounds at that moment, and he's going to have nightmares about that, going into his night of rest. But hopefully, again, just like when we lost to the Saints,
I was going there.
little things come. The little things rise to the top. This game, it's play with your feet. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're JC Horn on that specific play, you play with your feet, you're not reaching, right? You're not reaching with your hands. Your feet are where they're supposed to be, and your body will knock them out of bounds, right? And to be honest, like, anyways, we're gonna move on from that. And then as far as the offense, right? Our run game, we found success running outside, and they were sold out at the line of scrimmage. And the moment that you're able to get to the second level, and you have guys like Jalen Coker, you have guys like Bryce and Tremaine that are gonna, be willing and able blockers on the edge. That's how you really get those explosive runs, by having the receivers going out and digging out that extra guy to spring a running back loose.
Go ahead.
And then, I look at, the beginning of the game, Jatavian Sanders gets hurt. Maybe that's one of the things that kind of stemmed, the stalling on our offense. Maybe
that's exactly where I was going.
Maybe he was a huge part of the game plan. You have the script, the 15-play script, the 15 to 20-play script, and he's a part of that. And all of a sudden he gets hurt. Now you start seeing Jimmy Horn more in the game, right? There's a lot of different things that we're sitting back as fans saying, yo, what's going on? To them, they probably had something in mind that they were going in to this game with. And so the mismatches there, they ran a lot of nickel. We came out in 13 personnel. And, that's something that I don't know if we were prepared for. But this is what we're going to say on offense. That Seahawks defense, they're good.
They're pretty good. Pretty damn good.
They're good.
They're pretty good. And that's okay. There's a reason why they've won 5 more games than we have or whatever. But I want to go back to the Sanders thing you just mentioned, because that's what I was sitting on too. The announcers had made a point that we came out in 13 personnel that first play of the game that sprung Rico for a 10-yard, first down run, and unfortunately rolled up on Sanders' ankle behind the play. And that made me think, stuff I've been saying the past 3 or 4 weeks, one of the things I've been impressed with Dave Canales is their first 20 plays. They're scripted plays. They've always been crisp. Like, they always seem to be able to get down the field, get points or whatever on their first drive, since they've gone back and forth, win, lose, win, lose, win. Today was one of the first days, probably since like the Patriots game, where they just couldn't, once they got through their first 20 plays, or they had to change them, because it looked like they were a little flustered after that anyway. They couldn't really move the ball, which was different. And it makes me think, maybe they were going to do a lot of 3 tight end personnel today, because they actually had all 3 of the tight ends healthy at the start of the game, which they haven't really had for most of the season. One of them's always been out. When Sanders got out, that changed a little bit. Like you said, Jimmy Horn got put in some more sets, and it just kind of changed what they were trying to do. And I'm seeing some of the comments in the section kind of questioning some of the play calling and stuff. Some of it, I think they had to change on the fly. And when you had to change it on the fly on play number 2, as opposed to, play 30 or whatever, because you've seen some stuff and you want to try some things, you're still kind of shooting in the dark, like in terms of what's going to work and whatnot, against a really good defense. So, and they had some extra time because they played Thursday night last week. So they've had, even though they came across country, they've probably been in Charlotte since Friday. Like, they've probably been here for a minute and good to go. Went uptown, had some dinner, did some stuff, and then came in here on Sunday like they lived here. So I mean, it's one of those things to me. Someone's asking, why were we running Rico up the gut? That's not his game. Play calling, Stu just said it. Actually, my guy, that is what Rico does. He does run up the middle.
He does run up the middle.
That's literally his thing.
Rico runs. That's what he does.
He runs. It don't matter. Inside, outside. Well, where's the hole? Show me where the hole is. I'm going to burst through it.
But I think during the course of the game, you figure out what's working, and you got to figure out how to get back to it. And the problem is, in the first couple drives, we stalled out. We were punting, right?
Yeah.
And it's because we were behind the chains. We weren't winning on first downs. The drives where we started moving and finding progress was when we won on first downs.
Yep.
If you win on first downs, now your playbook gets bigger, right?
Get the check down. That's fine if the check down. Get 5-6 yards off the check down. That's fine. But
I mean, look, Seattle, they didn't just win today. They came in here and they imposed. And defensively, that's where it came from, the impose. I think as far as their offense goes, I'm not crazy impressed.
Me either.
I'm not. And it's only because we have a solid defense. I'm telling you, that's what
they play against. I can see them mismatched against like the Niners or even the Rams, where it didn't.
I can see the Rams play them again. Stafford going to pick them apart.
Yep, I think so
just like they did. They picked them apart, but for whatever reason, the Rams defense couldn't stop their offense. Right,
and both those teams give up a bunch of yards,
bunch of yards and points,
100 yards or something,
and they had a punt return on them too. So I mean,
and that guy got hurt.
He got hurt today.
Yeah, Lofa was telling us about him. I mean, the opportunity was there, and I see people get Dr. Mike too on here saying bland play calling, wide receivers locked up. We had plenty of opportunities, predictable plays. I don't really see the play calling being bland. I think
I think it was just literally you can only take what the defense gives you, and that's what Bryce Young has been doing the last several weeks. You look at the football greats; they take what the defense gives them, but then they capitalize on that one or two plays where a defense, shows their hand. And I think we missed the mark on that today. There was a play where we had T-Mac open where they brought a certain blitz, and it was something that we saw last week, and we just couldn't capitalize on it today. There's just days where guys are off, and I think T-Mac, and Bryce, given the fact that I think if T-Mac is not sick, I think there's a difference in that. Like I think there's just he was like I think today there's just the Carolina Panthers offense just wasn't their day. But I look at what you can't win a game. You can't win games with 1.8 yards per play in the first quarter. I think it ended up being 2 yards per play over over 2.
Bryce had 2.3 yards per throw.
That's not offense. That's survival mode. I think today our offense was surviving for the most part today. And then Carolina, you can't really bring a butter knife in the secondary to stop these running backs, right?
Yo, the dude, Zach, I just said Charbonnet. He got like 100 yards, and he was running hard. I didn't really know of him very well until today. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. I knew Kenneth Walker the second because he played for Wake Forest for a bit, so I'm aware of him. But Charbonnet, he played really well. I was really curious. I went back to look at our schedule just to see, who we've lost to, and to see if there's any common denominator. In particular, the Jags, the Patriots, the Bills, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. That's what 5 of those losses. Those are all like top 10 defenses in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And in all those games, even the Jaguar game was the first week of the season where we turned over the ball like 3 times or whatever. So that was one of those. The Patriots, we lost 42-13 that game, y'all. That's the one game everybody points at. It's like, we just got it handed to us in that game, or what nothing we could do. The Patriots have a really good defense. The Bills, 40-9, loses to the Bills. The Bills have one of the top defenses in the league, and they have for the past 5 years. The 49ers, that Monday Night Football game, lost 20-9. Shot herself in the foot a couple times with some turnovers there, and did not take advantage of Brock Purdy peppering the football around our secondary in the first half. What do you have, like 3 interceptions or something in the first half? We still lost that game. And then the Seahawks game, 27-10, that ended up being a loss. The only games really where we lost, where we should, like the Cardinals game week 2, we lost 27-22. The Saints game, the first game, we lost 17-7. And the second Saints game, we lost 20-17. You flip those around into games we should have won, we've already won the division. And I say all that to kind of calm down the fans, because I know the fans are upset. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? I'm at a point now where I've seen enough from Dave Canales and Bryce Young where I don't have to question their job security every week when we come in here. Like,
get away from that.
We're past that. Like,
the Seahawks are a good team.
The Seahawks are good. That's what we're here to tell y'all.
They had an answer for everything that we wanted to do today. Especially when Jatavian Sanders went out the game, because clearly I think a little bit of the game plan today had a little bit of him in there.
Yeah, I think they're going to allow 13.
And so they get paid too, and they get paid a lot of money to stop guys like us, and vice versa. They were the better team today.
And I see Cage Luke Mister in there. The Niners, we lost them against their third string defense. Guess what, sir? Their third string defense is really good. I don't care what it might be third string in there, but it's third string in San Francisco. Like, it's still pretty good. And last time I checked, Robert Saleh is a damn good defensive coordinator. Like, we are not going to dismiss the Niners defense. Like, my point was the teams we've lost to, we've lost games like that. They've all felt the same, haven't they? We couldn't do nothing. we start blaming Bryce because he didn't come up with the yards. We start blaming Canales because we didn't like the plays that were called or whatever. But in actuality, that's just where our team is right now. Like we are ahead of schedule, y'all. Like we are not supposed to be here week 18 or going into week 18 of the 2025 season where we're talking about we got one game to play and we can win the division. Like we're not supposed to be here yet.
We ain't supposed to be here. Look, look, we gonna win. Look, next week, you know what time it is.
It's a week. We're doing
the seesaw, right? We lost this week. So now we about to win next week because that's just what we do, right? We've been doing
it. It is.
So we, that's what we were just holding to. Who we are. That's a little bit of who our identity is this year.
And let me ask anybody over in the comments section, and including Jonathan Stewart on screen with me, do any of y'all believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now?
No.
I don't know what has happened to them. They have fallen off a cliff. It feels like something internal has happened.
I believe in Santa Claus before I believe in Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I can tell you that.
Kind of let it slip out like a month or two ago. Something happened. And he said something in a press conference that kind of perked some ears where it sounded like there's some disconnect in the locker room. And they've been on this kind of losing streak ever since. And they literally they were like 5 games up in the division like a month and a half ago. And now we're in a situation where if Tampa wins on Friday, they could win with a losing record and win the division. They'll be 8-9 and win the division. So it's like it's crazy. And as for the Seattle team we just saw,
if the Falcons lose, if the Falcons win out,
I know the Saints are 6-10 right now.
And we end up losing to Tampa, we can still be in the playoffs.
Wait, what?
Yeah. We talked about it today.
Sure?
Yeah, we talked about it today. And so, but we need to just win this game. Right?
Let's just win the game. Yeah.
So we can't deal with the mistakes and the missed moments. 3rd and 21s. You can't be giving up plays with a face mask and penalties. One turnover is bad. Like we can't, especially when you get a turnover, right? Mike Jack with the pick in the end zone, and then we give the ball right back. That's taking the wind out of your sail.
And that's what that's when the stadium got moody. They got quiet because they were like, "Oh, we've seen this picture before."
Yeah, we've seen it before, but but the thing is, defense respect, right? We talked about Mike Jack. We talked about Scorton. I think he's the bright spot in my opinion, as far as what we're supposed to be looking forward to with the people that are upstairs making decisions, bringing guys in here to play ball. If we're bringing people in like him, Ashad Robinson, Merrick, these guys that were not on the roster in previous years that are now taking form and being a part of the DNA and philosophy of this Carolina Panthers team. These are the things that you have to respect. And I think game plan wise, you probably say you circle Merrick, you circle Mike Jack, J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, Nick Scorton.
Put 3 big circles around Derek Brown.
Yeah. And so I think this is nothing to hang our heads about. We just came off the holidays, and everybody's hopeful and joyful, and you can still be hopeful and joyful. I think this is just part of, finding out. I had a conversation with someone today about, what's real and what's fake when you watch football, right? And you can tell the plays and the players that are real, that show up on film and classify themselves as guys that belong on a roster. But then there's guys that, hey, that's a little fake. and this can't keep carrying on for too long, right? You can't really be a part of, the trust building within this organization if your play doesn't match the expectations, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that week in, and then we skip a week, and then that week comes back, and that's kind of what we've been doing. Like today was right there for the taking, and that's the reason why we love this game so much, because it is any given Sunday. It is legitimately the only game where it doesn't matter what you did the week before. You better show up with your hard hat.
No, before don't even matter anymore.
You're going to get pushed around. Yeah.
Now, again, address some of the comments in the comment section here from some folks in there. Jesse Lascano, I hope I said that right, Jesse. He says, no disrespect to our older Panther team, but this year's Bucks remind me of the 2018 Panthers, started 6-2 and fell apart. There's a major difference between the Bucks this year and that 2018 Carolina Panther team. That Carolina Panther team had Cam Newton at quarterback and got hurt after at Pittsburgh. TJ Watt kind of slammed him into the turf on his shoulder. He was never right from that point forward.
Yeah, Desmond, tell him what it is, man.
It's not the same thing. Baker Mayfield got hurt, yes, but it was his non-throwing shoulder. He still toughened it out, and they're losing games they should be winning. Like, they literally have been in some of these games and just figure out ways to lose them. Like the Dolphins, but with Quinn Evers at quarterback, y'all lost to them today on a 68-yard bomb, like first play through. Like, it's Tampa's falling apart.
Now watch him become watch him go off and start being pretty good. You know,
the next Brock Purdy, like he's next. He's coming. But then the point I was talking about with the 49ers, they're 11-4. Like, I mean, we're not talking about a scrub team or a team that's like just treading water over 500. They still have pieces. They don't have all the pieces they had from 2 years ago, but that was a loaded team 2 years ago. They have still enough to compete in the most competitive division in football, the NFC West this year, where they could be the 1 seed. You know, like these teams we're talking about that we've beaten, the Rams, some of these teams, Green Bay teams are going to be in the playoffs. Those are measuring sticks for us, so that if and when we get into the playoffs, we'll know, hey, we belong here. We've beaten some of y'all that are sitting in this clubhouse. It's not like we snuck in through the back door.
And you walk in there and be like, hey, what's up,
hey, what you doing here?
I remember you. Yeah, we beat y'all.
Smacked out.
We graded you.
Now we back.
Oh, what's up, Ram? Oh, you mad? Oh, you mad?
Who let them in here?
How about you just go run into that wall, okay? Get out of my face.
Who let them Panthers in here?
Like, Dallas Cowboys, where y'all at, man? Dallas Cowgirls. Okay.
I still feel like with this Panther team, as up and down as they are, that makes them even more unpredictable. Where when the playoffs get here in the NFC on that side, we're the team nobody wants to see because they don't know.
You don't want to play the Carolina Panthers. Look, the Seattle Seahawks came in here and said, we don't want to play them. No, like we don't want to play y'all, man. Look, just lay down. No, we ain't gonna lay down. That defense didn't lay down today. That's one thing that we love about this. Look, the Carolina Panthers, the thing that you hold your hat on is the fact that our defense is solid. Today, the Seattle Seahawks won the field position battle, the turnover margin, and the time of possession. Shoot, that's the holy trinity, dog.
That's it. You get that.
You get 3 of those, you win. You won.
And again, with the turnovers that we gave up, both of them were like around our own 20. You can't do that with a 12-3 team. You just can't do it, especially at that point of the game. It was in the third quarter in a 3-3 game.
And even then, our defense was even being stingy in those moments. Yeah,
they were trying to hold them through.
They were trying to hold them through.
So, I mean,
the Carolina defense kept the life support going, right?
Yeah,
and they've been doing that for the season. To be honest, as they've been getting healthy and whatnot, you know, going forward, one of the things that you're going to have to think about is how do we keep our guys healthy, right? Because you have some fallen soldiers today, guys that are nipped up and don't know if they're going to be able to come back in time for this last regular season game to propel us into the Tampa Bay. Propel us into the playoffs.
That reminds me, a little bit on the bright side, we might be getting some ammo back because guess who came off the injured reserve last week? Robert Hunt, the leader of the offensive line, and a mountain of a man. They didn't play him this week, but it sounds like they were gearing up to try to get him to play. Now, you don't take him off the IR if you're not planning on playing him with 2 weeks to go. I'm pretty sure he's going to play in that Tampa game next week, and that'll be the first time we kind of have our offensive line intact. Since what, week 1?
Week 2.
Week 2. So, hey, if we had to do it, why not save him for that Tampa game?
Look, if Robert Hunt was out there today, Rico would still be running.
See, and he got hurt before Rico really started going off, if you recall. Remember? What? Like Chuba was still starting when Hunt went down week 2.
And we do need to the offensive lineman we got, right?
That's become hype.
It's just that defense is that good. That we're gonna have to, if you play in the Seattle Seahawks, you got to be at full capacity. You got to have all your guys. You have to have all your weapons. It's like playing Call of Duty, dog. You can't be out there with a pistol when you got snipers on the roof.
Right. Go in there with the right ammunition, dog. So before we get out of here, real quick, of course, we're partnered with FanDuel Sportsbook, and I want to do something different, just picking the Monday night winner, because the Monday night game is the Bears at the 49ers, which the Bears are out here turning heads too a little bit. Caleb Williams and company.
Not enough.
Johnson, that's
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think they got the high over under 51.5 in that game. So
San Francisco Christian McCaffrey.
They got him. They got the 49ers by 3.5. But I was looking at Super Bowl odds, because if we're going to talk about us being in the playoffs, then hey, let's just dream a little bit and see what it is. And I want the Rams right now have the best odds Super Bowl at plus 470. The Seattle Seahawks, who we just played, are next at plus 600. If you scroll all the way down to the very, very bottom, our Carolina Panthers are sitting there with plus 17,500 for the odds, meaning if you pick them to go to the Super Bowl like today and you put $100 down on it,
you put it down.
You win $17,500. So
that's a come up.
I'm saying. I mean, look, this is why we're here. Do you believe? Because if that's the bet you want to do, the Panthers right now are sitting at plus 17,500. Bet $100, win $17,500 over on FanDuel right now if you believe in the Panthers. And again, we told y'all at the beginning of the year, it lined up from the other two Super Bowl runs the Panthers had. The whole Jennifer Lopez divorce thing, Ohio State win the national championship thing. And there was something
all
else.
The stars aligned.
All that happened. Oh, and we opened at Jacksonville. All three of those things happened this year too. So when we said it, we were like, "Ain't no way these Panthers are getting in the playoffs." Like, what are you talking about? And now look at us. Look at us now. Like,
sorry to cut you off, man, but the Bills are getting rammed through by the Eagles.
Oh, really? What's the score? I got it on around the corner.
13-0. Yeah, for all y'all listening right now, the Eagles out here coming in rare form already.
Do they finally remember Saquon Barkley's on the team? They're like, oh, hey, whoa. Saquon's still here. I thought we had him for a year.
Yeah, Saquon got 14 for 64.
Yeah, they're going to start warming up.
They're going to start warming up.
All this talk about the Eagles all year, and they're going to run through the NFC playoffs.
They're going to run right through.
Run right through.
So, God Almighty, that's how you know you just got a good football team.
Pittsburgh's been good. Pittsburgh. Philly's been good for 4 years.
For 3 years, and they're just like, hey man, relax. We're gonna be all right. Jalen, that's my Jalen Hurts voice. Hey, we're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be all right. We're good. Man. We good. Hey, but you can get your franchise quarterback in the second round. Like, I wanted us to draft Jalen Hurts. I remember that. Like, I wanted us to get him. I thought he would fit because we were running RPO a lot back then. It was the back end of Cam Newton. I was like, he would slide right in and be fine. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna
see if we got. Hold on, we gotta see if what's the name got a sack today. Myles Garrett.
Oh,
I'd imagine he was gonna break. He was gonna break the.
He was about to break the record, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know actually.
And I don't shit.
Check it real quick. Garrett.
Nope, he did not.
Record. Who did they play? He missed it. But he's got another game.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird. I would feel weird breaking a record with an extra game. With an extra game.
Not me. Not at all. Because I look at it like this. So like Jim Brown held the rushing record for how long? Like 30 years, whatever. And he did that in like 12 games or whatever. Like they didn't actually break it until they expanded to 14 and then expanded to 16. And then that's when people started breaking the single record. But before that, he was at what, like something stupid, like 13,000 yards in like 12 games or something, or 14,000 in like 12 games. And that was like the record forever. And then was it Peyton or somebody? Walter Payton like was the one, or it might have been OJ. I can't remember. Somebody came and broke it after that, after they expanded and went from there. And I kind of looked at it like they're going to always add extra games. So, I mean,
and I guess you can look at the rate in which they're getting it too. And he's gotten his sacks at a higher rate too. So I guess you can
that's a good point too. Yeah. So, I mean, So, and actually, I like Myles Garrett. I feel like
I like Myles Garrett too. He's a good dude and just a great pro. And I wish the Cleveland Browns are lucky to have him.
I wish he was here. We'll get into we're gonna end it there, but we'll have our midweek episode where we'll go a little bit deeper into Panthers Bucks and get you set up for this NFC South showdown. I just looked. The time says to be determined, so that game might get flexed into some other.
It better
spot.
Be. Because ain't nobody trying to see the Steelers and the Ravens. I know
is that what it is for Sunday night next week.
They're gonna try to do something like that. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's like.
Let that thing live in the NFC, man. Let that thing live in the NFC South for once.
They might do again. I thought Seahawks and 49ers were next week, and that might be for the 1 seed, so that might get flexed into it. But other than that, the only other game that's going to really have consequences is going to be us and the Bucks. So I mean, we might get flexed, if not into a night game, we might get flexed into the 4 o'clock America's game slot. like the national game on Fox or whatever. So we'll get you ready for that. We've actually had some guests the past couple of weeks, midweek. Shout out to everybody's come. Steve Smith's come through. Captain Munderland's come through.
Lofa
Tatupu came through last week.
We have to figure out somebody. We'll figure out somebody for the Tampa
we'll bring
Bay.
Somebody through.
Somebody we can talk trash to.
Yeah. So hopefully, now the Tampa guys, they like to talk junk. So it's I can't remember the name of their.
Shout out to Carolina Mike, man. Carolina Mike was on the sideline.
My man is blown up even bigger than he was when we interviewed him. Like he's still doing his thing, man. So shout out to him. That's a great story. I saw he was in the house today, if I'm not mistaken. So we need all the help we can get. But we're gonna go ahead and head out again. If you want to go make $17,500, go over to FanDuel Sportsbook and bet $100 on the Panthers making the Super Bowl.
You had $17,500.
Put 17 grand in your hand. Like, I can see. I mean, go there now. You can do it right now. Those odds might change if the Panthers actually win the division. So you might be able to make you a little money on that. So
get it while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot. So we'll get you midweek. We'll get you ready for Panthers and Bucks. Shout out to everybody that comes in on our live pods for the post game. We will have one next Sunday after Panthers Bucks as well. We'll get you ready for all that, and we'll just get you ready for everything. So check us around Wednesday mornings, usually when Bleav drops the midweeks for us. So check us early Wednesday morning. It should be on the Bleav YouTube channel. Make sure you rate and subscribe there, and make sure you rate and subscribe wherever you get the audio podcasts. It'll alert you for whenever a new one's coming on. So
share with the hater. Share the podcast with the Panther hater.
Yes, because they're out there. They're always there.
And just someone that doesn't know anything about football or Panthers or anything. just share it with the people that don't know nothing. Okay? Here you go. All the Panther haters that don't know nothing.
And shout out to all the fans who have found us the past 3 weeks in particular. I've noticed our views and listening and stuff has upticked a bit. Now, granted, we had on some guests that we normally don't have, and the Panthers are actually winning and losing football games in December. So that helps out a lot, too, where our fan base is still invested the end of December 2025. So just look at it like this. Out of the 5-6 years we've been dealing with this, with the Panthers and regime change, quarterback change, and everything else, we have not been here. December 28th, where we're talking about we just lost a game, but if we win next week, we win the division. So, if you go into the rest of your week thinking that, this ain't even going to bother you at all. You just lost to one of the top seeds in the NFC.
Yeah.
And we gave them the game. We gave them 14 points.
The holidays is a reminder to be grateful.
Yep.
Okay.
Be grateful.
Be grateful, be joyful, be high-spirited as we go into the New Year's. Be safe.
Meaningful
be
football
crazy.
In January in Charlotte. What else could you ask for?
What else you going to ask for? Okay.
I love it. I
love it too, man. Look, we out here having conversations about the playoffs. Okay.
Dude, we normally talking about what quarterbacks do you like in the college football playoff that we might want to go
I don't like not one of them. Not now one. Unless Dante Moore come out.
I don't like none of the quarterbacks. That's why I was like, everyone's like, we should sit Bryce. And I'm like, and then what? What do you want to do then? Because it's slim pickings coming out the draft right now. We're right where we want to be. We are right where we want to be. So for Jonathan Stewart, this is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to the Bleav and Panthers podcast here on Bleav Podcast Networks, brought to you by FanDuel. We will see you guys midweek. Keep your heads high, y'all. Keep at it.
Keep your head up.